Loyalty, deception, honor, and betrayal. The game begins anew when the epic series Game of Thrones returns. Just one part of your free preview of HBO Max. You'll experience all the must-see originals and the biggest Hollywood movies you won't want to miss. Watch it all anytime. There's nothing else like it. Don't miss a free preview of HBO Max Friday, March 29th until Monday, April 1st. Sign up for HBO and Max and get your first month free. Call 601-8992 or visit cablebahamas.com to subscribe today.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned in to NB12, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, officers at the center of the Jamie Smith case identified. Plus, we speak with his family. BEC's line staff union threatens work to rule. The F&M cuts its $1 million debt in half. Plus, a look at Her Majesty's prison's population. I'm Bonnie Toot, and NB12 starts right now. Days after an autopsy report revealed that Jamie Smith, who died in police custody, perished from asphyxia after his neck was compressed, his family is speaking out. Jasmine Bonamy caught up with his grieving relatives today to find out how they've been coping nearly 2 months after his death.
According to this 6-page autopsy report, the cause of death for Jamie Smith was ruled as asphyxia, but that was not the only injury pathologist Dr. Karen Sands discovered. Dr. Sands also found the victim's neck had been compressed, according to the report provided by Smith's family. The Price Street resident died at the Central Detective Unit on February 8th within hours of his arrest. Smith's brother, Tracy Smith, says there has been no closure since Jamie's death, and the family is hoping the coroner's inquest will fully explain what happened to his brother.
We trying our best. We can't find closure until we know exactly what happened to him and somebody's held responsible. You can't just let that go just like that. So it ain't being closure for nobody as of yet.
In that report, Dr. Sands noted that Smith's body showed signs that consistent pressure was applied to his neck, resulting in bleeding into the muscles and hemorrhages in the eyes and throat. The report also noted abrasions on Smith's face, lower abdomen, wrists, and ankles, which were recent and occurred either on or near the time of his death. Smith's sister, Cara Monker, also said there has been no closure for the family, and Smith's 11-year-old daughter has taken it especially hard. For her part, she says she is still struggling to understand the circumstances surrounding Jamie's death.
I don't understand why he died in police custody when they're supposed to be protecting him. So somebody has to be held accountable. You know, we got the autopsy report, and the way explained that he died, it was painful for him. And I don't understand how is it that I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
As they eagerly await the start of a coroner's inquest, his relatives say they hold no ill will towards the Royal Bahamas Police Force. They just want justice for Jamie.
For the most part, they have a job to do and they just do a good job. But the bad set need to be weeded out, and you know, we need the police, but we can't help them doing bad things to people and getting away with it.
My brother death is not the first death, but I pray to God to be the last. I honestly pray to God to be the last.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
Meantime, the identities of the officers at the center of that custody death investigation have been made public. Inspector Ezra Maycock, Sergeant Keno Smith, Corporal Sterling Knowles, and Corporal Brian Roach were all at the coroner's court this morning. The 4 officers, who are all stationed at the Central Detective Unit, have been placed on administrative leave. The men were in court today as a new date was issued for the start of the coroner's inquest into Smith's death. It was initially set for today, but was pushed back to April. Lawyers Wayne Monroe and Ian Cargill represent the 4 officers. Christina Galanos represents Smith's immediate family. BEC's Employees Union says while there are no plans to sabotage the upcoming Carifta Games, as has been alluded to, leaders of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union are preparing to take industrial action that could impact other customers' electricity supply. Disgruntled members of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union held a protest in the government-run corporation's parking lot today. Celeste Nixon has the details.
BEWU Vice President Irvin Smith called on BEC union members to engage in a work to rule until further notice in protest of the corporation's plans to implement rostering and flexi-time schedules.
Smith also told union members not to work overtime hours.
Today we're having a peaceful demonstration as you see now, and also we are asking our staff to sit in, and we are initiating a work to rule going forward.
For how long?
Until matters are resolved.
Earlier this month, BEC Executive Chairman Leslie Miller announced the corporation's employees would contribute 25% of their pension and health insurance costs. This latest announcement follows BEC's initial implementation of a shift system and an announcement that the introduction of flexi-time will soon take place in a bid to save the struggling company millions of dollars in overtime. The BEWU has maintained that these initiatives go against their industrial agreement, and they are once again calling on the government to intervene.
As the union, we are tired of the attitude of our executive chairman, Mr. Leslie Miller, in his actions. The main issues that we are dealing with is flexi time and rostering, and the fact that you're talking about 25% injunction into the medical and the pension plan.
Smith said union officials would be willing to meet with the government this weekend and will continue to work to rule until the various issues are resolved. Smith also addressed reports that the union was planning to sabotage the opening ceremonies of this weekend's Carifta Games.
We understand that tourism is our bread and butter, our main that drives our economy, and so under no circumstances this union will never ever sabotage, neither do anything to jeopardize our country. We are not barbaric people. We are a unionized people, disciplined, who know how to conduct ourselves. And so to put the country to rest assured that no, we don't sabotage. We don't do that. We understand Carifta. We welcome those voices. We welcome tourism into our countries.
Additionally, Smith said the union's actions should not affect or hinder BEC's operations this holiday Easter weekend. Reporting from MB12, I'm Celeste Nixon.
Following the 2012 general election, the Free National Movement not only found itself in opposition, but with $1 million in debt. Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram said at the time the party was financially challenged during its election campaign. Now, nearly 1 year later, party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says the FNM has managed to slash his debt by more than 50%.
They've cut it by more than half. We're managing. We're preparing ourselves to take over the government again and move this country in the right path so that we can build a country for tomorrow.
In the run-up to the election, Ingram made numerous appeals for FNM supporters to make financial donations to the party, no matter how small. We understand donations continued to pour in even after the election. The party also reportedly held fundraisers.
The Bahamian public, they realize that we are the future and they're assisting. They're helping us prepare ourselves to take over the government again and lead this country in the right direction.